And so here we are now on the flip side of the B test. Thoughts on it? I'm not really sure what my predictions are about cutoffs at this point. I do think they were harder than the A test, at least for the AMC 10. So 2022 AMC 10B problem 1, also the 12B problem 1. Define X diamond Y to be the absolute value of the difference. That's how you want to read that, okay? For all real numbers X and Y. What is the value of, and you're going to start with the parentheses, the absolute value of the difference is 1. So you get 1 symbol 1, and then you have minus the absolute value of the difference is 1 still. We don't care what it's negative, positive, it's irrelevant. This is going to be 0. The absolute value of the difference negative is 2, and you've got a minus sign, 0 minus 2, negative 2. Let's get to the next problem. Continuing now with the 2022 10B problem 2, also the 12B problem 2. They aligned for the first two problems. In rhombus ABCD, point P down here lies on segment AD, as you can see, so that segment BP is perpendicular to AD, meets it at 90 degrees. AP is equal to 3. We'll go ahead and label as we read. PD is equal to 2. What is the area of the rhombus? Note the figure is not drawn to scale, which is good because mine's off from their drawing a little bit as well. But first things first, a rhombus has 4 equal sides. So side length of 5, this must be 5. 3, 4, 5. 5 times 4, 20. That's the area. The area of any parallelogram is base times height. So if your base is 5 and your height is 4, that's it. It works just like a rectangle in that way. Let's get on to the next problem. Continuing on with the rapid fire set, problem number 3 from the 2022 AMC 10B. How many 3-digit positive integers have an odd number of even digits? That's a little bit to process. So if I have an odd number, I've got 3-digit odd number of evens, I could either have 1 even or 3 evens, okay? Now this is just the way I solved it. You might have found a faster way. My thought was, okay, let's target this as case 1, if you will, and this is case 2. Under case 1, I'll make the subcase of 0 yes and 0 no. If 0 is included, it cannot go in the first position. So what I did is I just said, well, there's 2 places it could go. I'll multiply by 2 for that choice. Once that's made, then the other 2 have to be odds, of which there's 5 choices, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. They are allowed to be duplicates. It doesn't say different digits. It just says, yeah, the restriction with the evens. So then, what if there is no zeros involved? Okay, so if there's no zeros, there must be a 2, a 4, a 6, or an 8 to be the one even number. Where's it going to go? Well, where it goes will be 3 choices. Okay, that's the choice. Let's say I put it in the middle position, and then I have to choose which one it is, and there's 4 choices for that. So let's say I put it here, and I chose the number 6. Now I need to choose an odd number here and an odd number here. Again, that's 5 times 5. This looks like 2 times 25 and 12 times 25. 12 times 25 is 300. It's like having 12 quarters. And 2 times 25 is 50. So we're at 350 right now. Let's do the 3 evens case. Now, for the 3 evens case, again, we cannot start with 0. So I gave this 15 seconds of thought or so. And then I said, well, let's just say I've got 5 choices, 5 choices, 5 choices, because I could use all the evens. And yeah, there's some we don't want. We'll subtract those. What would those look like? So there'd be 125. By the way, this is not the digit 5. It's the 5 choices of 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. So 5 choices, 5 choices, 5 choices. We are using fundamental counting principle. So then from here, I want to subtract all the ones that are bad. What would make it bad? If 0 was in front. So if I fix 0 in the first position and I got to choose an even here and an even here, it could be anything including zeros, then I need to subtract a choice of 5 times 5 would give us 25 3 even numbers that start with a 0, which wouldn't actually count as a 3-digit positive integer. So we got to take that away. You get 100. You've got 350 here, another 100 here. We get 450, and we're going to do problem 4. And now we will do 2022 AMC 10B problem 4. A donkey suffers an attack of hiccups, and the first hiccup happens at 4 o'clock one afternoon. Suppose that the donkey hiccups regularly every 5 seconds. Okay, so starts at 4 every 5 seconds. At what time does the donkey's 700th hiccup occur? Okay, so keep in mind this is the first hiccup at 4 o'clock. So let's just pretend we didn't know that for a second. If we're going to have 700 hiccups, let's say there was 700 5-second intervals. You would be at 700 times 5 equals 3,500 seconds. But understand that it's 4 p.m. and 5 seconds when the second hiccup occurs. Right, so we've had 2 hiccups, but only 1 gap of 5 seconds. So therefore, if we want 700 hiccups, we really only have 699 gaps of 5 seconds. Be careful with that. So this is going to be 3495 is what we actually want. 699 times 5. Now, glancing at the answers after 458, pretty clear it's going to happen after 458. Let's just kind of utilize that to our advantage. Rather than divide this by 60, let's do 58 times 60. And I'm going to do 6 times, I'm going to do it like this in my head. 6 times 50 plus 8, which is 348, and then toss that 0 on the end. 3480. That's how many seconds will have gone by at the 58-minute mark at 458. So how many more seconds do we have to go? We need to go 15 more seconds, and that is going to be answer A. Let's get on to the last one for this set. And the last problem of this rapid fire set, 2022 AMC 10B problem 5. What is the value of, and it's a bunch of stuff, right? Just start kind of calculating it. 1 plus 1/3 is 4/3. So you're going to write 4/3 times 1 plus 1/5 is 5/5 plus 1/5, 6/5. 6/5, if I can write nicely. Times 7 plus 1 is 8/7. Now you might want to simplify that. Don't bother yet, just leave it. In general, don't simplify till you have to. It's one of the general rules. So we're going to have a square root now of 1 minus 1/9. Now maybe you could do something with this. Who cares? 1 minus 1/9 is 9/9 minus 1/9 is 8/9. So I'll write it like that. And this is going to be 1 minus 1/25, which is 24/25 times 1 minus 1 over 49 is 48/49. Now what I see is if I split this 8 into a 2 here and a 4, I'm going to have a better situation because now I've got 48 there along with this 48 is going to give me a 48 on the outside, and this 4 will give me a 2. So now I'm going to write this as 4 times 6 times 8 over 3 times 5 times 7 divided by the 4 square roots out to a 2. The 48 and the 48 become a 48, and the 9, this is all a product, keep in mind, not plus, it's times. So I can just square root 3, 5, and 7, and we like that because it matches this denominator. If you're in the situation of A over B over C over B, those will simply cancel. Okay, so then that's what's going to happen here. Those cancel. Now, I've got 48. 6 times 8 is 48. 2 goes into 4 8 times. In other words, this would become A over C. 2 goes into 4 twice, and we're going to get answer choice B. We'll see you guys in the next video.